Because you cannot change your life if you don't change how your brain works. Burnout is a very good topic to talk about because a lot of people don't realize that they're in a state of burnout. You wake up in the morning with this heaviness in your gut. We're like, but I slept and I'm still so tired.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Buzzing. So excited to have Mariska with me here. Mariska, so now in small businesses, right? That's one of the things that we always see, and with entrepreneurs, that business becomes tough, right? And it becomes difficult. And sometimes it gets difficult to stand up in the morning, like we spoke on the first episode as well. So going into a little bit about burnout and the balance, and there's something special that you have for us here as well. But just let us first run into the topic to say, what is burnout and what is the symptoms and the root causes of burnout?
Burnout is a very good topic to talk about because a lot of people don't realize that they're in a state of burnout. And when we feel chronic exhaustion, physically, emotionally, mentally, that's the biggest indication that we're experiencing burnout. And it's our body signaling to us, hello, it's time that you attend to me because something is off. We're not in balance. So what are the signs that you look for? The first couple of things that you need to realize about yourself is, the first thing is lack of empathy. You lack empathy to the people around you. Your child comes running up to you and say, I bumped my toe. You'll be like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Sorry to hear that. That type of thing. The second thing is lack of compassion for yourself. You literally don't care a thing for yourself anymore. You don't care how you act, how you react, how you care for yourself, how hard you work, how long you work, how you present yourself. It's just a lack of compassion. You're just very hard on yourself.
Wow.
And then, like, the third thing is the extreme exhaustion. You wake up in the morning with this heaviness in your gut. Where you're like, but I slept and I'm still so tired. You go through life exhausted and you don't understand what's going on. And then the fourth thing is you've got a low tolerance. People trigger you like that. Like, but what is going on? This is not me. So those are the first four things that you should look at when you experience burnout.
Sure. That's quite hectic to actually put it in simple terms. Like, wow, thanks for sharing that. So, it's that exhaustion. But apart from that, you're saying it's like you actually having a lack of empathy, a lack of love towards the people around you. So if I'm hearing that, we should actually be able to experience that from other people. So we should be able to witness when they are going through burnout then. Because whenever you know a person does not normally have a lack of empathy or normally have a lack of love for you, then you should start saying, listen, something's wrong here. But what would the most healthiest way be to address somebody that has burnout and say, listen, I'm a little bit concerned for you because it feels like I'm experiencing a little bit of burnout from you?
Right. Ooh, you'll be on thin ice, let me tell you. Are you ready for somebody to be triggered right there? Listen, I always say, everything goes about your delivery.
Yes.
How do you deliver a message to be authentic and honest and caring and loving? And if you can master that, you can be the messenger. Because you're more than likely to be shot. But be the messenger, show the love and care. You can take a person into confidence and say, listen, I need to have a talk with you. But literally, would you like a coffee? And be honest and say, I experienced this. And I just want to check in. Are you okay? Is there something that I can help you with? And you mean what you say.
Exactly.
Because people being so fragile will be like, oh, what do you want? So it will be like, just be honest, compassionate, empathetic. Show them the love, show them the care, and show them the genuine help that you are offering. And, you know, who knows, maybe that person can actually trust you then and will accept it.
So, I mean, how does that affect the people's business partners, loved ones, children? I mean, when they are experiencing burnout, does it have a big effect on the people around them?
Absolutely. Everybody's being affected. Everybody. Because why? The person doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
The person is irritable. The person can't think.
Yeah.
The person is not in alignment with who they want to be and their true identity. So they have mental fog.
Yes.
They don't have focus. They're off their roadmap. So they snap, think they get triggered quickly. They make life absolute hell for everybody around them.
That's great.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, how do you recover out of that? Because, I mean, there's a lot of people that they step away from business. You know, small business owners, they step away from that. And I'm saying small business owners because we are focused on that. But I mean, a lot of people in corporate as well, you know, high up positions, they tend to reach a point of burnout and everything. But so how do you get to a point where somebody can recover from burnout without completely closing down their business, walking away from everything and just starting fresh a year later?
Okay. So, first of all, is to recognize, you know, what is going on in your life. How many rods do you have in the fire?
Yeah.
And look at, like, why are you not focusing on what you are meant to focus on?
Yes.
What are the distractions in your life? And then you identify the distraction, sorry. And you ask yourself the question, do I need to attend to this or not?
Yeah.
Am I just a people pleaser? Do I want to please my audience or the people around me so that I can feel better about myself? Or think that if I do all of these other things, that I will be validated and approved by them? You have to really sit back and make a note and say, right, I don't need to be a chairman to this company right now. I can step away and I can join again in a year's time. So it's just to make your responsibilities less, to get back with your focus. And when you focus on the things that you initially decided to focus on, you will start to feel, all right, I'm getting the clarity back. I'm feeling emotionally more resilient to push through. And all those things will just start to fall in place again. But it's to acknowledge which things are not serving me as a person in my journey.
And I think that's the most difficult thing, is to acknowledge that, because you need to then some way acknowledge that maybe the problem is with me. And I think that it comes down to a point where it's like a little bit of pride again, because you know, I went through a point like just a little bit of exhaustion, I mean, through my career as well, where you do tend to touch on a lot of things, right? You opening a new business here, you're touching on that, you're sitting on a board there, you're doing that. And then it's like you're saying, if you're not focused, because now you're on a point where you can't do everything effectively. And so if you want to do it at a level of excellency, you're going to try and be the best in every single thing. And then you're going to have to end up working till 12, 1, 2 in the morning, and you're not going to be able to maintain that for a long time. So I think what you're saying there is so important, to actually have focus in terms of what we are doing. And I must honestly say, for me personally, every time where I got to a point where I lost focus, it affected my main priority, my main business, my marriage, life with the children. It affected that because my focus was everywhere else except on the thing where we should do. So, I mean, taking from that, you're saying we should focus. And when we focus, we should say it's all right for us to reduce the amount of things that we are doing and to really just be more effective in certain things. And I love that. And so when we spoke a little bit, and you say you have a 5 core energy framework, right, that you focus on. Maybe just walk us through it then.
Okay. So you have the 5 energy domains.
Yes.
Right. It's your physical energy. It's your emotional energy. It's your mental energy. It's your relational energy. And it's your spiritual or your alignment values energy. And if you look at each of those 5 energy domains weekly, you have to take a score on that to say, in terms of my sleep, where am I at?
Yes.
Your physical, how do you feel? Or how do you perform? Let me rather say that with physical. How do you perform? With your emotional is, how resilient are you? How strong do you feel? How emotional? Women tend to cry the whole time, and they don't understand why they are so emotional.
Yeah.
Well, irrespective of hormones, burnout is a great thing. Think of a mother who's just had a child.
Yes.
She's exhausted. She's grumpy. Literally, you don't play cat and mouse with her.
Yeah.
Then there's mental energy. You can't think.
Yeah.
You cannot, you read it in email and you read it again and you read it again like, I still don't get it.
Exactly.
You can't focus, right? And then there's relational energy, your relationships.
Yeah.
You literally don't care about them later on. Meetings, family dinners, do I have them? Yes, I do. Oh, I'm not part of it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You'd rather be in solitude than be with people. And then you have your spiritual or your values energy.
Yeah.
You are actually not alignment with your values. And that means that your work-life balance has pushed you out of alignment of what it initially was that you try to focus on.
Sure.
So you spend more time in your work and now you don't have time for your family, or you are too tired to spend time with them. And you get like kind of grumpy because like you ask yourself the question, is it all worth it at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So those are your 5 energy domains.
Wow.
And you have to score yourself continuously to see that if I'm drifting in one of these areas, how can I get myself to come back? And where do I need to take a rod out of the fire?
Yes.
And regain my focus and my alignment with my ultimate purpose and focus and goals.
Sure. And that's so important. So, I mean, there's 5 aspects, right? So it's quite a lot to think of. And I mean, basically all 5 of that is something that you deal with on a daily basis. I mean, it's really something that affects your life on a daily basis. So if that is imbalance and out of balance, it can make a massive impact on your burnout and your mental exhaustion and everything like that. So is there a perfect way to balance this, or like is it this one size fits all kind of thing, or is every single person, do they have their own specific way of what is going to drain them, what is going to build them up?
Okay. So some people are more emotional resilient, or they have more emotional resilience than other people. So they can take a lot more than somebody else would. Okay. It's very important to pace yourself, to bring your life back into balance to where you know you feel comfortable with.
Yes.
And where you identify with your identity.
Yes.
And you don't become somebody that somebody else says, well, you're this monster. We can't work or live with you anymore.
Yeah.
You need to come back into alignment. You need to find your baseline again.
Yeah.
To say, oh, hang on, this is my baseline. This is where I function best physically. This is where I function best emotionally. In my relationships, this is where I function. You find your baseline. So it's the awareness that something is off.
Yeah.
Finding it is to rate yourself between a score 1 to 10. Where are you in your energy?
Yes.
And then to get back to your baseline. And then what do I do to reset? And sometimes people literally have to step away from the distractions. And you start with nutrition.
Yeah.
You say, listen, I've got mental absence.
Yeah.
Because you cannot change your life if you don't change how your brain works.
Yeah. Wow. So just maybe before we finish with this, you said you have a few tools to building emotional resilience.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have 1 or 2 that you can share with us?
So, first of all, the first one and the best one is to get your boundaries in place.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have boundaries.
Yes.
What works for me and what doesn't.
Yes.
What serves me and what doesn't. Get your boundaries right. Because if you have your boundaries in place, people will respect you for that. Because us as South Africans, but I think it's also a global thing, think that it's okay to people please. No, it's not. It's not. Get your boundary in place and don't feel guilty about having boundaries.
Exactly.
You are your own person. It's your one life. You live this life. Do what you can take and what you can't take, right? And the other one is, I've got one here, but I actually want to use another one, which I think is more important, is emotional regulation. That teaches us to build psychological flexibility. If we are flexible in our psyche, we can take on a lot more. We can distinguish between the good, bad, and ugly. And we can say, right, I know this doesn't serve me, and I'd rather take that energy and put it back into there. So those two things, I would say, is the most important of the tools of the emotional resilience.
It feels like there's so much more that we need to cover. But for now, for this episode, that is it. But we're going to definitely touch on some of these aspects later on as well. So listeners, look after yourself. Have empathy for the people around you. Mariska, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.